Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Okay, before I get into the recap, I did finish the week with 16 wins, 5 losses for a win rate of 76.19%. Below my 80% weekly goal, but it was still a pretty good week. Made a couple mistakes. I'll get to that when we get to the trade. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Also, please smash the like button on the video. These take time out of my day, and I only do these so you guys can learn. So I'd appreciate it if you would like the video. And you can also go on Twitter, and you can find the link of the room in the bio section of social media and in this description of the video. So when you're on Twitter, you can also see the timestamps of the alerts, so you can see those that I put in real time. And sometimes, most of the time, I try to call out the play before it happens, but not all the time. You can't do that. News or patterns just develop, or I'm not paying attention sometimes. So I do try to call out the plays before they happen so people can get in and can see what I'm seeing beforehand, and they can make their own decision if they want to get in or not. In the end, trading is risky. You need to make your own decisions. Don't blindly follow me or anyone else. So with that said, I will get in the recap. Well, the first one I did was mistake number 1 was ST. I don't know why Lululemon's up, but STMP stamp. Now, stamp is just this is what I was looking at. Now, I know they had a many said they had a buyout. Well, it's not really a buyout yet. They just had an offer. So, I mean, the offer is not sealed and done. So, at any point, the offer could fall apart, or the thing could just pull back because it's not a done deal yet. So, I was looking at the weekly, seeing the double top on the weekly, and seeing these massive red days afterwards. So, I decided to grab 300 puts on STMP just for fun, to see if it would have this massive knife. Because if it did have a knife like this, or in half the size, I had 300 puts at 55 cents. I mean, they would have gone 1,000% if this had this kind of a drop. It didn't. It stayed choppy. I will probably keep watching it. It may not go anywhere until something actually happens, if it's falling apart. But if it does manage to get underneath the 320 level, I will grab it again, because I think this is going to happen. I mean, it may not happen as drastically, but I definitely could see it going to 300, even in anticipation, waiting for the buyout, because until the buyout actually happens, it's in stone. I think it's still going to pull back some, but I could be wrong. But whatever. That was mistake number 1. You know, it really wasn't much of a mistake. It was pretty much a gamble more than a mistake, but it is what it is. So I'll go back to the week, hourly on this one, if I can find it. Okay, then I had BA calls on Monday, which is the 12th, right? Here. Yeah, okay. I had BA calls at 9:49, which is where it dipped down, because as you see, it gapped down. It dipped a little bit and it came back up, and when it took off. So I had the 245 calls at $1.35, and they went from $1.35 to $1.79. Didn't really go that much. I mean, it looks like a pretty good move, but it only went like $2 plus. So, and I had 245 calls, so I was out of the money a little bit. It is Monday. Mondays are the most expensive day for weekly options. So, especially at open, data needs time to kick in and smash it, drop a little bit, so they'll get a little more get cheaper. I should have grabbed it right here. I don't know why I didn't, but anyways, Baba I had was the next one. Now I had just to check to make sure that this is recording properly. Okay. Baba I had at 10.16 on the 12th, which is right here. Now 10.16, I had it right here. It gapped down, it popped back up, filled the gap, it came racing right back down to lower day, and I grabbed it right here. This was loss number one. I grabbed the 200 puts at 146, then it popped. I thought for sure it was going to break lower day. This is really not a mistake. This is something that has been happening a lot the last couple weeks, is that stocks will make a really quick run to lower day, and instead of breaking, they'll find support and they'll bounce. And usually when they make this pop and come back down this quickly, usually they'll either chop or they'll break, and it just did not happen at that time. So the 200 puts at $1.46, I jumped out at a loss. So that was loss number one, actually technically number two if you count STMP. But at that point in time, STMP was a swing, and it just didn't work out by the end of the week. But then I had SPX. I'll just go to SPY because SPX, you can't see the VWAP. I had SPY. Actually, I had SPX at 11.14 on the 12th, which is right here. 11.14 right here. You can see I grabbed it right here on this dip. You can see it popped up. Now let's the 12th. Where's the 12th? This is 12th right here. Yeah, see 12th is new all-time highs. Getting a little bit of a bearish divergence going on the hourly, and it dropped and it came back up, and I'm looking at it from the point of view. It's at 434, and it made a $2, $3 run, and SPY's not been running that much. It's been staying. It used to go $1 or $2 range. Now it's about $3 to $4 range. So then it started to have this little choppy for a reversal look, and I grabbed the SPX 43.75 puts at $3.05. That little drop went to $4.50, so $1.45 little play right there. I've been playing SPX closer at the money because of the small ranges, because if you were to get too far out of the range, this probably would have barely gone probably 20 cents to maybe even 30, 40 cents. But when you get close to at the money, or they end up moving a little more if you get it right, and they don't drop that much. So was why I grabbed that like that. Then I ended up grabbing it again the second time at 12.53, which is right here. You can see we got it right here, pop back up, chopped at the same area, and right here I broke below these candles. I'll blow it up so you can see it. It broke below these candles right here. That's what I was watching. It came down quickly, so I grabbed the 43.75 puts again, and this time cheaper at $2.20, and it popped back up. It still was finding resistance, and it came back down and knifed right here. I thought for sure it was going to knife, but no, it held the 20 EMA and it just popped. So that ended up being a loss, for the second loss of the day, third loss for the week. Then I ended up switching to SPX calls at 135, right? 135 right here, right there. No, right in here somewhere. Yeah, because at this point in time, I saw it faked out right here, and it had this strong candle. I still had the puts because I just was thinking, okay, maybe it will dump. So I grabbed the calls right here for a breakout. It popped up and dropped back down. I was like, okay, I got puts and calls. One of them is going to pay off. And then the calls took off. I did manage to get out of them. I had the 43.85 calls at $1.50, then went to $2.25. So I've been trying to go with the mindset of take your 50 cents plus on SPX and just get out, especially if it's in a tight range. You get greedy, especially as you can see right here. If I got greedy right there, would have ended up being a loss. Right here was a loss. I don't even know if they even turned green that much there. I think they might have for a split second, and they definitely wouldn't have turned green right there because the chop right here, the theta would have demolished it a little bit. So yeah, so I did grab the 50 cents or so on the SPX calls right in here. So, but it never did come back down. teased right there, and it popped up. Then it came back down, so the tease like made it look like it was going to come back down. But the puts I had, I just held until the end of the day and just took it for a loss. But it is what it is. Then on Tuesday, let's see, Tuesday I had SPY. Let me blow this up. SPY had this big knife right here, and it started to pop back up. And I didn't want to chase it. I could have chased it. I probably should have. But I really hate when they have these knives and they rebound. And by this point in time, 50-60% of the drop is already rebounded. And by the time the opening candle is done, it's 80% recovered. And I don't like that. So I wasn't going to chase it. So I did grab SPY puts at 954, which is right here. You can see it filled the gap. And I grabbed that little drop right there. The 436 puts went from 94 cents to $1.12. Nothing special. It was non-expiration day, so I didn't go SPX. SPX would have been like $7 to $10 or so, and I'm not playing that. That's too expensive. So I took SPY at the money call put. So did it pay a little bit right there. Then I ended up grabbing SPY puts again at 1131, which is right here. No, I don't know why I didn't grab it right there. I think because it did do that, but there is a bearish divergence right there. You can see it's making a lower high on the histogram, and yet it's making a higher high right here. So I think I probably ignored this because of this, because it rebounded pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure I ignored it right there, and I'm glad I did. I probably could have squeezed a winner out of that, but I ignored it. Then I saw the bearish divergence, so I grabbed it right in this candle and this right here, and it chopped a little bit. Then it finally knifed. So I grabbed the 437 puts at 88 cents. Then they finally knifed and did go 100% to 216. So another thing I also want to point out is 8 out of the 16 winners this week were 100%. So 50% of my winners were 100% plus. So if you held it all the way through. Now I did grab SPX calls overnight. Let's see, I grabbed them at 111, which is right here on this knife. Came back up. This is where I grabbed the calls. I decided I was going to hold it overnight. Actually, I was looking for a bounce. Then it just didn't. It started to drop a little bit. So I was like, okay, I'll hold this thing overnight. I mean, this thing has just been making recovery after recovery, just making new all-time highs practically daily. So I was like, okay, it's probably going to go back to all-time highs. So it did drop a little bit overnight. Then it just had a nice little run right here. Then I ended up taking the 430. Well, when I did grab them right here, I grabbed the 437 calls at $1.16. So even though I grabbed it here, it opened up here. It didn't get very far. I got out and it was the $1.30 was the high, and I thought for sure it was gonna, because it was in the money, they would have been like $1.50, $1.70, and they just weren't. I was kind of surprised that when it opened, it was still red. Then when it popped up, I just got out when it turned green. So I was a little surprised by that I got it here. And they were in the money and then some at that particular time, because I had 437 calls. And at this particular time, it was 437, 40-ish. We round up. So 40 cents in the money. I thought, for some reason, I just thought they'd be greener than what they were. So I was not expecting that. I was a little bummed about that. Then I had BABA. Oops. I had BABA puts on the 14th. Now BABA just this pop right here gapped up with SPY, and I love when BABA has these big gap ups. Except BABA's been kind of weird this week because it's been having monster gap ups when SPY's been gapping down, because China's GDP has been doing really, really well. So it's been popping up on that. But anytime BABA has a strong gap up or a nice gap up, I'm eyeing to short it every time, because 90% of the time it's going to drop and open, and that's exactly what it did. So I grabbed the 210 puts at 92 cents at Reddit 943. Yeah, right when it probably came up here, 943. I can go down to the 3-minute and show you exactly where I grabbed it. 943 on the 13th, right here. This is the 13th. Nope, that's the 14th. No, the 14th is what I'm on. Sorry. So I grabbed it right here in this candle. 943. Yeah, right in here. Right here. I grabbed it right there. Oh yeah, okay. I don't know why I grabbed it down here, so but I'm looking at the 10 minutes, so I'm not seeing that. But yeah, I grabbed it right in here in this candle, and they went from 92 cents to $1.42. So that was a good little play for Baba. Now I grabbed SPX puts at 10:08. So let's bring SPY up. 10:08. Oh yeah, double top right there. This is where Baba dropped. Now I grabbed it at 10:08, which is right here. I grabbed it right here. Well, I should have grabbed it right in here, but somehow I grabbed it. It dropped and popped back up the VWAP. I grabbed it right when it was rejecting VWAP. I grabbed the 43.75 puts at $2.55, and this nasty drop. They went from 255 to 1390, so they went over 400% in that drop. Then I ended up grabbing the 43.75 puts again at 1246, which is right here. The VWAP rejection again. They went from $3 to $6.40. Then I ended up grabbing the 43.80 puts this time at 239, which is probably right here. 239 right there. I grabbed the 43.80 puts at $3, and they went to 680 if you held all the way through. So I did catch it here. What was it? 943. 10:08. So I grabbed it here, here, and here. I'm not quite sure why I grabbed it right there, but I can see why I grabbed it here, and I grabbed it there. I'm not going to complain. I grabbed it here, and it was a winner, but I must have been thinking a VWAP trap, because what happens is it likes to pop through and get everybody on calls and on the long side, and then dump it. So that's what market makers like to do, and they like to do it the other way, and I always fall for the other way. Like right here where it's dropping down and it popped back up, I always fall for this. I don't know why. I try to become patient, try to wait for a little more confirmation, and sometimes they drop down just enough to give me that confirmation, and boom. So yeah, luckily, I'm not quite sure why I grabbed it there, but it ended up being 100% winner right there. So I'm not going to complain about that. So that is it for Wednesday. Then I had SPY puts at open. Let's see, 940. I had 433 puts at 940 right here. I can already see what I did wrong. This is exactly what I was thinking. It opened, and it went straight to lower day, pre-market lows, and I grabbed the 433 puts thinking it was going to flush, and it didn't. It popped, and I ended up getting out for a loss. Then I ended up grabbing them again at 1019, which is right here. It popped up, it rejected right there. I'll blow it up more so you can see it. Popped up, then it rejected, came back below, and that's when I ended up grabbing it. 1019. It must have been right through VWAP is where I grabbed it. Right in here is where I grabbed it, probably underneath the 20 EMA. So I grabbed the 433 puts again at 70 cents this time, and they went from 70 cents to $1.70 in that little drop, so they went 100%. Then I probably should have held my first puts that I stopped out, because they would have turned green even if I held, but yeah, it is what it is. So okay, then I ended up grabbing Tesla at 1148. which is right here. Now, I'm looking at the inverted cup and handle. You get the cup, get the handle. And so when it broke down below the 653, 40-ish area, I did grab 640 puts at $2.58, and that little dump right there, they went from 258 to 835. They went 200%. Then I had Disney. Let's see. Disney on the 15th. Where are you? Right here. Okay, blow that up. At 133. Right here. Right there. Right there. You see it's chopping around. It came back to actually it's channeling in this 185 to 184 area. And when it finally broke this channel, I did grab the 192.50 puts at 46 cents and then went from 46 cents to 69 cents. And that little drop right there, it held the 200 EMA, which is the purple line. I also remember that was the day that I was lagging really bad. Toss was lagging so bad. It was so hard to deal with. It just lagged every time I was in something. It was so annoying. Friday was a lot better of a day. It didn't lag at all. So I don't know what was happening with Toss that day on Thursday. But Friday, Baba, I had Baba at 212.50, puts at 931. Now Baba, it just likes to give its gains up in the morning, especially after a big gap up. But I was just looking at it on the hourly, and it could not make. It was making lower highs. It was kind of making a symmetrical triangle on the hourly, so I was kind of aware of that. So when it broke below pre-market lows, is when I ended up grabbing the 212.50 puts at 59 cents. They went from 59 cents to $1.50 on that little drop. Then I had Netflix. Now Netflix, I used to trade on Fridays, but I got burned a lot in the past because they would just chop and not move. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna play it, but I did take the chance and play it. So I normally avoid it. So I did grab the Netflix puts at 937 right here. Now I was looking at the previous day's lows, which was Thursday, and as soon as I broke that, 947, so I grabbed it right here. I did grab the 535 puts at $1.20, and they went from $1.20 to $4. Now I also, I even said in the room, I called all the plays before they happened, so people had a chance to see what I was seeing and get the play draw pulled up. So I try to do that, but sometimes you just can't, like I said earlier. So yeah, they went from $1.20 to $4, and right there. So I was going off from previous day's lows, so I was hoping it would chop, and it didn't, thank God. Then I grabbed SPX. Now SPX just had a I shouldn't pull SPX up. I'll pull SPY up instead. There's no VWAP in SPX. So if you're going to chart and play SPX, chart it with SPY, and see SPX. You wouldn't have seen this reversal right here after the VWAP rejection because there's no VWAP. But I did grab the SPX calls, the 43.60 calls at $2.30 at 954, which is right here. I saw this nasty drop, saw it consolidating, and they've been making V recoveries daily. So I thought for sure we're going to have a nice V recovery. It did pop, so I did get my 50 cents plus on there. So they went from 230 to 330. Then it just dropped more, and this is where I grabbed them. I grabbed the last play of the day, thinking for a nice end of the day squeeze. I grabbed it at 218, which is right here. I grabbed it right there, and I was looking at lower lows, and histogram was making higher lows, so I was seeing a bullish divergence. End of the day, V rally squeeze, and I was also looking at it from the point of view that the market makers were going to try to push SPY above 435.40, which would make it green for the week. I was really thinking they were going to make SPY green for the week, make that green weekly candle, and it just did not work out the way I thought it did. I mean, saw the bullish divergence. I probably should have waited a little longer. I probably should have waited for at least right here to get above there for a little more confirmation, but I didn't. I just blindly grabbed it right here, and it just dropped and dropped and dropped, and I probably shouldn't have grabbed it at all. But my thesis was, like I said, that bullish divergence, end of the day, squeeze, and perhaps a possible green weekly candle, and none of it happened. So I probably shouldn't have even grabbed that. So that was one of probably my bigger mistakes for the week. I shouldn't have grabbed that right there. I should have waited for it to get above the 433.50-ish area, or even over here, even over VWAP maybe. But it is what it is. So that was my week. I hope this has helped you understand why I took what I took and where. So that's going to do it for the recap. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video and hope to see you in the room. Thanks.